Manchester, he gets us away on a very frosty-looking pitch. Still quite a bit of snow on it. And the players, some wearing a very short leather stud, others wearing a short-ish aluminium stud. And at least we have the advantage of a brilliant orange-coloured ball. It's Worthington knocking the ball off, and it was Broadhurst slipping. And I have the strong suspicion these players are going to be sliding all over the place. Certainly the middle of the pitch is very frozen. That's Proctor. Here's Anderson. Wallace getting a touch. Archie Gamble is there. And that's knocked out for Van Mierlo. Gunn coming back at him. The ball taken away, in fact, by Willie Young from Shilton, which in fact was the sensible thing to do. The clearance out picks up Proctor. Proctor making good pace down that right side. And now Ward. Ward, whose position was a bit doubtful today. The return ball from Robertson. Good crowd here this afternoon, all thanks to the plastic cover that gets the Spain into action. And Brocken feeds that down the line. It hit Gray on its way out. Nicely fed into Worthington, good ball on to Dillon. Birmingham City moving forward well. That ball for Watmore. Oh, the turn back, pass back was a shocker. Fed straight to the feet of Watmore, and Shilton saves Forrest. What a beautiful ball from Worthington that fed Dillon in. But look at this pass back now by Willie Young. Right in fact to Watmore, and Shilton saves Forrest. No doubt about that. Too many Forest men around Dillon then. Brocken trying to get a touch against Colin Walsh, but he strides away, chased by Broadhurst. And Van den Hoor stops him, but unfairly the challenge of Broadhurst, apparently. Referee calls it back for the foul on Walsh. Free kick taken. It's off to Proctor now. And it still could come. Wallace! Cotton, although he should not have been given any chance then. That was a fairly clear-cut opening, contrived by Ian Wallace. All started with the running of Proctor, and I think Wallace had a strong chance to bury that ball. Anderson, well-judged header, so was that from Gamble. The ball played on to McGovern, and it breaks for Wallace. And he hits the post. That would have been cruel. That really would have been cruel, because a perfectly good clearance then broke down for Wallace. Unexpected bonus, and then the post rescues Birmingham City. Now Wallace taking on Van den Hoor. Ball played in for Ward. Todd was there. It can be played in again. Wallace to McGovern, to Proctor. And Mierlo positions himself well. So the corner then for Proctor to take. High hanging ball that Young goes up for. Well taken, Cotton. Here's the Wallace rushing across as Young knocked that ball goalwards. Must have confused Cotton for a moment or two. Willie Young meeting it firmly and looked for Wallace to go across the goalkeeper. He never took his eyes off the ball, though. There's Broadhurst across to Langan. Dillon has moved forward. The ball is to Brocken. The chipped ball in will be read by McGovern. Knocks it down badly, though. Van Mierlo. It was Proctor getting him out of trouble. Van Mierlo feeding Broadhurst. And now Dillon. Langan. The curl pass. Young gets it out. It'll drop down for Dillon. Toe poke pass forward. Young, Dillon. He's in for a shot. Wasn't strong enough to test Chilton, but he dropped it. Stopped it and dropped it. Pressure still on by Birmingham City. Worthington. And the ground removed by Brocken's legs just as he went in. Well, we're in the time added on, which is practically next to all. A couple of seconds, that's all. Tony Cotton, the Birmingham City goalkeeper, if he has to play this second half being bombarded with snowballs from the Forest fans behind that goal. Referee Banks had a word with Archie Gemmell, I think, to say that he's going to keep an eye on that situation. As we're away in the second half then. Birmingham City must feel that they were in with a shout of ending a 23-match run since they last won away in the First Division. Way back at Middlesbrough, November 1980. The Forest are going forward here. And Todd just lets the ball run over the line. Worthington drops for Proctor. Is Ward. A lot of red-shirted Forest men up there, and one of them's Wallace. And Wallace just not having the luck. But there is the total conviction there in his approach. Ball nicely fed by Ward to Wallace. Plenty of time to set himself, and look how wide he was with the shot. Errors being committed by both sides now. Broadhurst, cut out by Proctor. Anderson, for Proctor again. Coming inside. Govan. By Van der Horn, that was important. Worthington, the only man forward for Birmingham City at that moment. Anderson, the ball into McGovern. Could break for Ward, it looks good. Yes, 1-0 Forest. Peter Ward. Only his second goal of the season. And he took that as cool as any of the feet of those spectators out there this afternoon. 16 minutes into the second half. Finally, that Birmingham City defence cracked the constant pressure. McGovern it is, feeds that ball through. And Ward sees the goalposts, decides to clip it in off that one. And it's 1-0 Nottingham Forest. So Peter Ward scoring his second goal of the season, only his fourth in the First Division for Nottingham Forest. But a vital one for all that here this afternoon. Anderson will maybe saying farewell to the side for a short spell fairly soon after 6 bookings this season. Wallace changed his mind 3 times there. His 4th decision was a bad one too. It's Dylan forward, Van Meulen. Young punching there in the midfield, where Anderson is prepared to drive Forest forward. Proctor. Robertson. Proctor. Got a second bite at that. Anderson, good ball on again to Proctor. That's a fine cross in, and a fine goal. Yes, Wallace. 2-0. Birmingham City defence really cracked wide open then. A lot of good work, starting off with that Robertson control in midfield. Anderson, the ball fed forward then to Proctor. Low ball in, everybody's beaten there. And Wallace, the easiest chance in the world to stab it in from point-blank range. 2-0 then, Nottingham Forest. And you can't see Birmingham City coming back from that, with Wallace providing that killer goal there. Worthington turning that down, and Proctor was there. Langan up. Ball drops to Ward. To Wallace. Short for Ward again. And a good blistering move then by Broadhurst. Worthington. Touched to Broadhurst. Pass got him in trouble. Robertson strolls and rolls a pass to Walsh, and then goes down the left wing himself, but Walsh is going in towards goal. Try for 1-2, and 1.5 was Colin Todd. Langan going past him on the outside. There's Gray out to the touchline. Now the cross in from Todd. Headed in that direction. That's Brocken on to Worthington. Oh, lovely goal. Yes. And Shook absolutely livid with his defence over that one. He is as angry as Frank Worthington is delighted. Beautiful goal from Frank Worthington. Todd knocks it in, and it's deflected on them. That first time ball on by Brocken, and look at that for a volley. Pick that one out, he says to Peter Shook. 28 minutes. And Birmingham City closing the gap. And they're still in this game at 2-1 now. Frank Worthington with his 7th goal of the season. And Anderson spurring Forest forward now. That's a goal kick. Ball last struck Anderson for the second time before it went over, but in fact a corner is given. Anderson for Proctor, sold him into trouble. Dillon coming out. Dillon keeps going. Checks into Worthington. Feeds it off to Van Mierlo. Stretched in and well read by Gunn. That could drop down to Broadhurst though. Gemmell. Pressure coming from Ward. It's over to Langan. Todd. Langan. Brocken now wide on the right side of the park. It's Young who got in the way. Todd. Well, this has put new heart into Birmingham City. Broadhurst picks up Dillon. Worthington. 1-2 didn't quite work. Gunn. Long one out. Vanden Hall, nicely weighted header down for Archie Gemmell. Worthington flicks it on, and Gemmell goes on running, and the ball knocked in. Gray was there. But this now an encouraging period for Birmingham City. Here's Van Mierlo. Worthington. That's Dillon. Here's Gemmell. Archie Gemmell claiming a foul. His old teammate, John Robertson. Archie Gemmell, a man who had a great deal to do with the upsurge of Robertson's talent here at the Forest ground. Fighting hard for it. Here's Van Mierlo down to Vanden Hall. McGovern got a touch, the ball drops for Van Mierlo. Tapia attacking from this side of the park, and Van Mierlo might get there again, and does, and he's just wide of the left-hand post. That's Shilton's left-hand post. In fact, somebody got a touch. I don't think it was Shilton. What a good break that was by Van Mierlo. Young wasn't able to get in. Young's after it, but Van Mierlo will get there first. and it's just wide of the post. Ward. Ball off to Walsh. That looks useful, looking in for Young. Comes on to Proctor. Oh, what a wild one. But the man who might have scratched a goal out of that was Big Willie Young. He comes awfully close. Now comes to Proctor. And he snatches his shot and misses. And a big cheer then for Ian Bowyer. Back almost a year to the day, the time he left this club to go to Sunderland. £235,000 profit they made on his transfer. $275 to Sunderland, $45 to get him back. And Ian Bowyer has 5 minutes of activity here. And I suspect that he's been brought on for his ability to rally and steady a side. It has been looking just a little bit groggy in this last 15-20 minutes. Todd for Birmingham City. Worthington. Dillon. Big long one for Van Mierlo. He's all right. And what Morris too. Stopped in fact then by Proctor. Here's Worthington. Well stopped by Anderson. But Forrester being stretched from time to time. Oh, that's a good ball through. And Wallace is up on a run against Todd. He's on his own. Well, again, Wallace snatched at that. It would be a shame to show that one again. I think Wallace is upset enough by the first view of it. Fiercely won back by Birmingham City. But that ball still there for Gray. Could be there for Wallace. One off for Ward. And a shot on here for Proctor. Knocked out only just by Cotton. Archie Gamble well positioned to help his goalkeeper out. Ward rolling this ball off to Proctor. And he had a really good sight of the goal. Cotton saves, and you see how close Gamble was to help out. Vandenhall. Dillon, the dummy, on for Van Mierlo. Can he cross it in? Watmore trying to get there. And the ball drops out to Wallace. And the final whistle has gone. Nottingham Forest have wrapped it up here at the City Ground. 2-1.
Nottingham Forest now in 6th position then, 3 points ahead of Spurs and Everton, who are both a couple of points better off than Liverpool. Manchester City's draw with Stoke not good enough to take them above Ipswich.